This video will explain how to use the sticky toolbar on the IEC Ladder editing. In order to do that, we'll recreate the standard StartStop Logic that we use in a lot of our ladder demos and training. We have one rung of ladder here. First, we wait for the function key 1, B-start, to be pressed, at which point power flows through the B-stop and BE-stop contacts because they're normally closed, and so we turn on the Q1 output, B running. This in turn gives an alternative power flow through the lower branch at the start of the rung, which in turn continues to hold B running on. This remains on until either B-stop or BE-stop are pressed, interrupting the power flow and turning B running back off again. So this is a pretty standard bit of logic, but how do we create that same logic within IEC Ladder? We'll look at that now. So we've gone to the IEC editor and added a ladder module. We've also pre-created the Boolean variables to implement the previously described ladder. So we'll see how we create the equivalent ladder. The first thing we need to do is insert a new rung. To do this, we click on the Insert Rung toolbar and a basic ladder rung with contact and coil is added to the diagram. With these top two ladder editor toolbar buttons, we have the option to either add a contact before or a contact after the current selection. We'll start by making this first contact the B-stop. From before, we need to add a B-start contact to the left of that, so we click on this toolbar button. We also need a BE-stop to the right of that, so we click on the Insert Contact After tool. We now have assigned B-start, B-stop and B running. So that's the basic rung, and now we need to add the parallel contact, and that's done using this toolbar button. So select B-start, select this button, and we add the parallel contact. We can then assign B running there. The next toolbar button down is used to add a horizontal line to the rung. So if we want to space this out, we can just click on that and a horizontal line is added at the current cursor position. The B-stop and BE-stop contacts need to be the normally closed variety, and we do this by selecting the contact and clicking the Change Item Style button here. So clicking B-stop to select it, and then clicking Change Style, we will see this change to be a normally closed contact. We do the same for the BE-stop. As well as using this toolbar button, we have the option of selecting the item and pressing the spacebar. So let's try that. What we see when we press the spacebar once from here is that we have a few more modes in the IEC Ladder editor, and those would be positive transition, which will allow power to pass for just one scan after the contact turns on, and negative transition, which will allow power to pass for just one scan after the contact turns off. Now we'll go back to the normally closed contacts. As well as being able to set the style of contacts, we can also change the style of coils. So selecting the output coil, we can cycle through normally on and normally off, set coil, reset coil, positive transition coil, and negative transition coil. In our example though, we only need the standard normally off coil, so let's return to that. As well as inserting contacts into the rungs, we also have equivalent insert function block before, insert function block after, and insert function block in parallel tools. Now we'll insert a function block as before. As default, the block is added as a multiply block. If we double click on that, we have the option to change the block that we want in there. For example, we might choose arithmetic and subtract rather than multiply. Similarly, we have insert function block after, and again, we could change that. It doesn't have to be an arithmetic rung. We could do maths, which gives us cosine, for example. One thing to note on the multiply, which differs from the advanced ladder editing, is that we can increase the number of input pins. So we might have a block multiplying 5 values together. So that's the insert function block before and insert function block after. We also have the ability to insert a function block in parallel with the current selection. So when the power is on, both of these function blocks will be executed. We inserted one rung before, so now we'll look at how we add another rung to the end of the ladder. To do this, we select a cell in the left margin after the program finishes and use the Add Rung tool to add a new rung at the end of the program. Alternatively, to insert a new rung further up the ladder, for example right at the start, we go there and insert the new rung. Now let's look at inserting jumps in the ladder. To do this, we add a jump here and remove the original coil. Now we double click in the left margin to insert a label for where we want to jump to. In this case, when the contact is on, we won't evaluate the logic. We'll just skip on to the skip point. We also have the ability to add comments using the Add Comment toolbar function. The bottom toolbar button gives us this ability to line up all the output coils in the ladder. Let's click on that and you'll see that the editor adds horizontal lines to line up all the outputs. The final toolbar button we didn't look at yet is Insert Duplicate Coil. So we can select an output coil and add more outputs in parallel driven by the same logic. So that's the basic difference between editing ladder in IEC compared to editing ladder in advanced ladder. Thanks for watching.